Welcome to this video on creating consistent, reliable income with pay raises through retirement. What if you could build a plan that created a reliable monthly income stream in retirement so that you can enjoy time with your family, travel, eat out at expensive restaurants, spend without the worry? For example, Jim and Julie, who took their hard-earned 401k and turned a portion of their savings into a paycheck that will never run out, will always be there, and they can count on it for the rest of their life. And that's not all. They also have a plan that gives them a way to create pay raises through retirement. The question for many retirees is, how do you turn your retirement savings into a paycheck that lasts the rest of your life and keeps up with inflation? Why? Well, grocery bills keep going up, higher gas prices, cost of living continues to rise, market volatility, rising healthcare costs, higher taxes. It's no wonder the top retirement concern for many people in the near future is the fear of running out of money. Most retirees have been taught to grow their portfolio balance. But what's the plan to take money out? If you rely purely on market performance, you may be putting unnecessary stress on your retirement. Your portfolio should have two jobs in retirement: creating income and growing to keep up with inflation. But there are risks to your retirement income. The best way to illustrate this is to share with you the tale of two retirees. Grandpa Earl retires at age 65 with 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds. His portfolio is worth $500,000, and he's taking 5% withdrawals per year. But at age 84, he runs out of money. Then there's Grandma June. She retires at age 65 with the same portfolio mix and the same withdrawals. But at age 84, June still has $500,000 plus some in her retirement account. Why did Grandpa Earl run out of money? One of the biggest reasons is he didn't understand the concept of sequence of returns risk. What is sequence of returns risk? Sequence and returns risk is a danger that a market downturn occurs early in retirement, forcing retirees to liquidate investments at a loss to generate income, which permanently impairs the portfolio's ability to recover. This risk, according to Schwab, is highest in the first 5 to 10 years of retirement and cause portfolios to fail prematurely, even if average returns are positive over the long term. Let's take a look at the most recent bull and bear cycles. This is our current bull market cycle, and these are the actual returns of the S&P 500 from 2013 to 2025. The average return in this period is 15.85%. If a person started out with $1 million, they would have about $6 million at the end of 2025 if they never touched the money. But what happens when you start taking money out? In this example, this individual is going to take out 5% from the original $1 million, which is $50,000. And then we're going to randomize the historical returns and change the sequence. You can see the ending value changes. It's not the same ending number. But because this individual retired during a positive bull cycle, they still had plenty of money to last them the rest of their life. Now let's look at the last bear market cycle. And in this cycle, the returns of the S&P 500 included in 2000 a negative 10% return, 2001 a negative 13% return, 2002 a negative 23% return, and then in 2008, during the housing market crisis, a negative 38% rate of return. In the last bear market cycle, the average return was just under 2%. If you started out with $1 million in the beginning of 1999 and you never touched the money, your account at the end of 2011 would have recovered to just around the same $1 million. But look what happens when this individual starts taking out the same 5% from the original $1 million, which is the same $50,000, and then let's randomize these returns. What is the ending balance after taking out income? 314, 223,000, negative 104,000, 326,000, 340,000, 274,000. Because this individual retired during a negative bear market cycle, the portfolio never recovered. And in many cases, it's demonstrating that they're running out of money. The last 15 years have seen record growth in the stock market. The question I have for you, do you believe the markets will continue to perform at that pace for the next 15 years? Well, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know if we're going to have good markets or bad markets, which puts you at a crossroads of how to turn your savings into a retirement income stream. Building a plan for retirement can be compared to climbing up and down a staircase. Climbing up represents accumulating assets until you reach the point where work is optional and retirement is affordable. Descending down the stairs symbolizes taking money out during your retirement. But one false step could derail your retirement outlook. For retirees, that can include market risk, inflation, unexpected housing expenses, taking out too much money, healthcare costs, long-term care costs, and higher taxes. This is why many retirees turn to the concept of the 4% rule. What is the 4% rule? The 4% rule is a simple rule designed to help people choose a safe withdrawal rate for the retirement funds. According to the rule, if you take out 4% out of your retirement accounts and adjust that for inflation, your money should last 30 years. Now, this rule was designed to help simplify the process of deciding how much you could withdraw without risking draining your account too fast and going broke. Morningstar's 2025 retirement income research suggested that 3.9% was the highest safe starting withdrawal rate for someone seeking an inflation-adjusted income stream that would give them a 90% probability of their money lasting. It's all about probabilities. The lower your withdrawal rate in relation to the portfolio mix of stocks and bonds, the higher the probability of your money lasting is indicated by the green colors. That also works the other way. The higher your withdrawal rate in relation to stocks and bonds, the lower the probability of success as indicated by the red colors. For example, this individual started out with an account balance of $2 million, and his need was $100,000 adjusted for inflation on an annual basis. In this example, 5 out of the 6 years saw positive returns, but there was 1 year where the portfolio had a negative return. Drawing money out when markets are down created risk by not allowing the portfolio to recover back to the original balance. Now, take that income that you need and divide that by the new balance as shown on the screen. The new draw rate is 8%. This individual has created additional risk because they lower their probability of their money lasting and now runs the risk of running out of money because of one bad market year in retirement. If one bad year negatively impacted the long-term health of your savings account, what would you do? The question now you want to ask yourself is, what type of income do you want? Do you want income that's consistent, reliable, income that you can trust in your retirement? Or do you want income that's market-driven? It can go up, but it can also go down. How do you turn probability into predictability, uncertainty into reliability, concern into confidence? The traditional growth and draw mindset asks one question: how much can I safely take from my portfolio? With this method, retirees are likely to focus on limited resources, times of underperformance, and how every withdrawal could affect the long-term viability of their financial plan. Overall, it's considered a defensive strategy. Now I want to share with you the reliable income and pay raise approach. This method is designed to help you generate reliable income and create pay raises through retirement. This paradigm approach asks a different question. How can I use my assets to create more dependable lifetime income and build a retirement paycheck that can improve as life gets more expensive? This paradigm approach adds lifetime reliable income, typically using a fixed income annuity that are backed by the claims paying ability of an insurance company, and combines it with a more aggressive asset allocation model built for long-term growth. And the research shows that by adding lifetime income combined with a more aggressive allocation model, that generates 29% more spending ability from one's retirement savings and reduces risk by as much as 33%. Also, during your working years, you look for raises and bonuses. Retirement should not be the time where your income has to stand still. So let's focus first on a method to generate reliable income. And we're going to go through the example of Jim and Julie. They had $1 million in their portfolio. They worked hard to build their retirement. They're concerned about running out of money. They're concerned about higher costs of living. And their accounts are fully invested in stocks and bonds. Their goals is to travel, enjoy retirement, and do family vacations. Right now, all of their money, $1 million, is in a growth bucket of stocks and bonds. There's nothing in a lifetime guarantee bucket. The traditional draw strategy using Morningstar's 3.9% is going to say that if you have $1 million like Jim and Julie, and you times that by 3.9%, they can anticipate $39,000 of income from their portfolio. Jim and Julie, they have that $1 million in retirement accounts, all in a market-driven growth bucket. Assuming that same 3.9% distribution rate, they can anticipate, once again, $39,000 of income. But they're essentially using the full growth account to generate that income. And there's still major risk. What happens if the market goes down early in retirement? Remember, if you're taking withdrawals from a declining portfolio, that can do real damage to the longevity of your retirement account. That framework can help set expectations, but it still leaves many retirees dependent on a portfolio withdrawal and exposed to sequence of returns risk. The more efficient approach, using fewer dollars to meet the same income target, and then allowing the remaining assets for future growth and flexibility. What if instead of using the full $1 million and taking withdrawals from the portfolio, Jim and Julie could use roughly half of the assets to grow and the other half to create a similar level of dependable lifetime income? In their current scenario, they have that $1 million and they're using the full amount to generate that same $39,000. With the alternate income scenario, they can take $500,000 to generate the same $39,000, and that income is guaranteed for life. Instead of needing the full $1 million to create that income, they met the same income target using fewer dollars. And they still have $500,000 growing. That's the real power here. The more efficient approach provides income efficiency by using fewer dollars to achieve your income target. It allows more of your assets to remain invested and continuing to grow. And provides less volatility pressure, reducing dependence on selling during a down market. This plan also incorporates the elements of time. The chart illustrates that over a rolling 10-year period, growth stocks have produced positive returns 92% of the time. Over a 20-year rolling period, they've generated positive returns 100% of the time. A sound investment strategy is focused on maintaining long-term market exposure rather than attempting to time withdrawals or seeking annualized returns. Now, with the reliable income foundation set at $39,000, we can now introduce the retirement pay raise. This is how the retirement pay raise happens. Remember, your portfolio should have two jobs in retirement. Job one is to create income, to cover the essentials, using guaranteed income sources and Social Security to handle the spending you never want to miss. Job two is growth, giving it time to grow, allowing the remaining portfolio to be invested in the market. This gives the portfolio time to compound in good markets or recover in bad markets. And it also allows you to pursue long-term appreciation instead of being drained for every paycheck. This helps build your bonus pool. During your working years, when you got a raise or a bonus, your lifestyle improved because your income improved. The bonus pool is designed to harvest gains. When gains appear, peel off a portion of that growth and convert it into another reliable income stream. Why should your retirement be the time where your income has to stand still? Especially when cost of living continues to go up. Long-term care costs may be in your horizon, and retirees are living longer. Why not build big raises during your retirement? How? Each time markets reward patience, you can choose to lock in part of that win as a future personal pension. For example, the remaining balance in the portfolio is $500,000. And we helped establish a base lifetime income stream of $39,000. Over the next couple of years, the portfolio grew to about $64,000. At this point, Jim and Julie can harvest those gains and turn that into an additional $5,000 of lifetime income. Now, the new lifetime base income stream has increased to $44,000. A couple years later, Jim and Julie saw significant growth. They can harvest those gains and turn that into more lifetime income, which now saw their lifetime income improve to $96,000. And in the years that the markets are down, Jim and Julie, they didn't see any growth. So what they could do is allow that portfolio to recover, but their lifetime income stream remains the same. It stays at $96,000. The following year, the portfolio recovers. And at that point, they decided to harvest gains and turn that into more lifetime reliable income. And it bumps up their foundation to $109,000. And now, Jim and Julie once again can decide if they wish to harvest gains and turn that yet into an additional pay raise. What started out as $39,000 has increased to $109,000 in lifetime reliable income in this time frame. That's almost 3 times more income over the last 10 years. Imagine getting raises through retirement. Income rises if there are gains to be harvested. What if there are no gains to be harvested? Income stays the same, allowing time for your portfolio to recover in an extended market downturn, or even if there's a downturn in one given year. Why do retirees like this? There are plenty of financial benefits, including reducing the reliance on portfolio withdrawals during bad markets, creating reliable income to support essentials, preserving a growth bucket for inflation, travel, or healthcare needs, locking in gains instead of giving them all back in the next correction. And it also provides emotional benefits, such as less fear about running out of money, less stress over headlines and market swings, and more confidence spending on life, family, and health. The classic approach asks, how much can I safely pull from my portfolio? That can keep retirees focused on scarcity, on bad years, and on whether the withdrawal is damaging the plan. The reliable income and pay raise approach asks this question: how do I use my resources to create more reliable income and generate pay raises over time? It shifts the conversation from just surviving retirement to building a retirement paycheck that can improve as life gets more expensive. Retirement is not about protecting what you have. It can also be about strategically turning gains into new income streams of reliable income. I started out with this question: what if? What if you could build a retirement plan that created more confidence, more predictability, so that you could live your best life forward? Like Jim and Julie, clients that know they have a reliable income stream with a plan to build in raises to keep up with rising costs. And that's not all. They have a plan that will provide a lifetime of financial security. This isn't just a math idea, it's a quality of life idea. For many retirees, the biggest stress is not whether the portfolio statement looks good in a good year. The biggest stress is whether they can count on income when markets fall, whether rising costs will force them to cut back, and whether they may someday run out of money. When essential income is covered by dependable sources, the pressure comes off. You're not forced to sell assets to create every paycheck. You're not checking the market every week wondering if you need to change your lifestyle. When the market does reward you, you have a strategy for turning growth into something permanent and meaningful. It's a retirement story that feels progressive instead of defensive. Income that you can count on month after month, year after year, for the rest of your life. Are you looking for more reliable income? Click the link below to set up a 30-minute conversation to see if this concept is appropriate for your situation.